Hello viewers, I'm Kausalya. Today we are going to solve problems 4 and 5 in exercise 13.4. The problem 4 is a container open from the top and made up of a metal sheet is in the form of a frustum of a cone of height 16 cm with radii of its lower and upper ends as 8 cm and 20 cm respectively. So here we are provided with the frustum of a cone whose height is given and both the radius are given. One is 8 and another one is 20. So the first part of the problem is find the cost of milk which can completely fill the container at the rate of rupees 20 per liter. So here we are going to estimate the cost of milk that the container has. That is, we are going to fill the frustum of a cone completely with milk, and then we are going to find the amount which is required for that milk. So here they are clearly given, you see, for per liter it is 20 rupees. So first thing is we have to find the amount of milk that the container can hold, and then we can calculate the amount. For example, if the container can hold 10 liters of milk, then obviously the cost is 10 into 20, which is 200 rupees. Right. Now the second part of the problem is find the cost of the metal sheet used to make the container if it cost rupees 8 per 100 centimeter square. The next thing is this container is made up of metal sheet. So here again we have to calculate the cost of the metal sheet which is required to make the container, provided you see for every 100 centimeter square the making cost, that is the cost of the metal sheet, is 8 rupees. So here for the second part we have to calculate the curved surface area and then we have to proceed. Right. So we start our solution by finding the volume of the container. So here you see this is the frustum of the cone and these are the given parameters. So volume of the container or capacity, both means the same. So here the formula is 1 by 3 pi h r1 square plus r2 square plus r1 r2. So the value of pi is 3.14 and the value of h is 16. So R1, R2, R1, R2, we know the values, right? 20 and 8. So just substitute it. Once you substitute and solve, you see here we are getting the answer as 10449.92 centimeter cube, because here we are discussing with volume and you see all the parameters are given in centimeters. Okay, height is in centimeter and both the radius are in centimeter. So here we have a centimeter cube. But what is given in the problem? That is for per liter. Okay, 1 liter of milk cost 20 rupees. So now we have to convert that volume in terms of liters. So how can we do that? So here you have to divide this by 1000. So when you divide it by 1000, here the answer is 10.44992 liters. So for 1 liter the cost is 20 rupees. Therefore for 10.44992 liters the cost is, just you have to multiply this value by 20. So when you multiply, here we are getting the answer as 208.99. So which is approximately more or less equal to 209 rupees. Right. So first part of the problem is over. We will proceed with our second part. So here we have to find the area of the metal sheet used. So to find the area of the metal sheet, again we have to look back at the diagram. So here again the curved surface area is, that is this part, okay, the total part. Then apart from that, the base part, curved surface area of this base area, because this entire part is made up of metallic sheet, and again this base part, even you can just assume a bucket, right? So therefore here our formula is curved surface area of the frustum plus area of the circular base. So the formula is pi into r1 plus r2 into L plus pi r2 square. So here pi is common, so you can take pi outside, and you know the values of r1, r2, and here we have to find the value of L. So L is given by root of h square plus r1 minus r2 the whole square. We know all the values, so just substitute and solve. So finally here the value of L is 20 centimeter. So now we know all the parameters, right? R1, R2 and L. So just substitute it. And once you simplify here, finally we are getting the answer as 1959.36 centimeter square. So this is the area of the metal sheet used. Now we have to calculate. So you see what is given in the problem. For 100 centimeter square, the cost is 8 rupees. Therefore, for 1 centimeter square, you have to divide this 8 by 100. So, for 1 centimeter square, the cost is 0.08 rupees. Therefore, for this much of centimeter square, what is the cost? So, obviously, you have to multiply. So, when you multiply here, we are getting the answer as 156.748, which is nothing but 156.75 rupees. So here is the end of this problem. We will proceed with our next problem. So problem number 5. A metallic right circular cone 20 centimeter high and whose vertical angle is 60 degree is just cut into two parts at the middle of its height by a plane parallel to its base. If the frustum so obtained be drawn into a wire of diameter 1 by 16 centimeter, find the length of the wire. So here what it is done, we are having a right circular cone whose height and vertical angle are given. You see, this is the cone. So this is the right circular cone whose height is 20 centimeters and whose vertical angle is 60 degrees. So now we are dividing this cone by using a plane parallel to its base. That is, we are cutting like this. Right. Then if the frustum so obtained be drawn into a wire of diameter, that is, we are cutting this cone like this and we are getting a frustum like this. Right. Now this frustum is modified as a wire. Okay, we are converting this frustum into a wire whose diameter is 1 by 16 centimeter. So now we have to calculate the length of the wire. Right. So first, this is our given problem whose height is 20 centimeter and whose vertical angle is 60 degrees. And it is cut like this. Okay, this cone is cutted like this and therefore here we do have a frustum like this. So, you see, it is given clearly in the problem at which place we are cutting the cone here at the middle. Therefore, so here we have cut the cone in the middle. So, this 20 centimeter is nothing but here it is 10 centimeter and here it is 10 centimeter. And again the angle here is 60 degree. So, I am just drawing a line for my comfortability, right? So I am drawing a line at the middle. So what happens here? This angle becomes 30 degree and this angle becomes 30 degrees. Now we will proceed, so to find the volume, okay, we have to find the volume of the frustum so that we can find the length of the wire. So to find the volume, you see, we should know the radius of the upper part as well as the lower part. So in order to calculate the radius, we are proceeding like this. So the first part is we are considering this triangle ADE because this is the radius of the upper circular area and this is the radius of the lower circular area. So to calculate the radius of the upper circular area, you see, again we are going into trigonometry. So here we are considering this triangle ADE and I want this value. And I know the value of this side. You see, this length is 10 centimeter. So I am using the formula of tan 30 degree. So tan 30 degree is nothing but opposite side by adjacent side. So here the opposite side is DE and the adjacent side is AE. So the value of tan 30 is 1 by root 3 and the value of AE is 10. So the value of DE is 10 by root 3 centimeter. So this is the value of DE. Similarly, now we are going to find the value of BF. So now consider this bigger triangle. Right. So for this triangle, again the angle is 30 degree. What about this length? This length is 20 centimeter. This is directly given in the problem. So again make use of tan 30 degree. So tan 30 degree is nothing but it is your BF by AF. So tan 30 is 1 by root 3, which is equal to BF by 20. Therefore BF is 20 by root 3 centimeter. Right. So the next thing is, now we are going to find the volume of the frustum of the cone. So here, okay, this is the frustum of the cone here. I know the value of R1, R2 and I know the value of height also. Right, because the cone got cutted in the middle, therefore here the length is 10. So now the formula is 1 by 3 pi h R1 square plus R2 square plus R1 R2. Now I know the value of R1, R2 and H. So just we can directly substitute. Right, pi is 22 by 7, H is 10, R1 is 10 by root 3, R2 is 20 by root 3, again R1 into R2. So now 10 square becomes 100 and root 3 whole square becomes 3. Again 20 square becomes 400 and here 10 into 20 becomes 200. So root 3 into root 3 becomes 3. Again when you add and simplify, you see here we are getting the answer as 22,000 by 9 centimeter cube, because again it is volume. So now we are converting that volume of the frustum of the cone into wire of diameter 1 by 16 centimeter. So a wire will look like this, right? Obviously this is nothing but, what to say, this resembles a cylinder, right? So here the diameter is 1 by 16. So now we are calculating the radius. So radius is nothing but diameter divided by 2. So here it is 1 by 16 by 2. When you move this 2, again it becomes, here it is 2 by 1, right? So when you move this to the numerator part, it becomes 1 by 2. So here the radius is 1 by 32 centimeter. Now the volume of the frustum of the cone is equal to the volume of the wire, which is nothing but volume of the cylinder. So here volume of the frustum, we know the value. Volume is nothing but, even you can directly write it as pi r square into h. Okay, instead of h, here it is L, because here the given parameter, that is unknown parameter, is given as length, right? So here it is pi r square into L. Now again we know the value of R, so that we can easily calculate the value of L. So the value of R is 1 by 32. So here just substitute it, and to find L, just I am moving all these parameters to the left hand side. So here 22 by 7 becomes 7 by 22 and 1 by 32 becomes 32, right? So again when you simplify, you see, okay, the simplification is simple. So here 1000 into 7, 7000 into 32 into 32 by 9. So when you multiply, and here you see we are getting the value as 796,444.4 centimeter. Okay, so just mostly you see the parameter, the length will be in the form of meters. Okay, meters or kilometers. So I am converting this centimeter to meter. So here what the thing we have to do is, we have to divide this by 100. So when you divide it by 100, here the answer is 7964.44 meter. So finally the length of the wire is 7964.44 meters. So here the key thing that you have to remember here is, whenever a wire is given, wire is nothing but a cylinder. So you have to always keep this in your mind. That's all. If you have any doubt, let me know in the comment section. Thank you.